Now, I bet you don't hear this every day, but falling in love sucks. I know. I know. That's not exactly what you see in the movies, right? They show us butterflies, heart racing moments, endless daydreaming. All the songs and social media posts make it look like love is just a walk in the park. But let's be honest, it can be a real pain sometimes. So let's talk about why falling in love isn't always that fairy tale you've been sold. Modern day cynicism. Nowadays, we live in a world where everything is analyzed and dissected. Science tells us love is just a bunch of chemicals in the brain. Some people think marriage is little more than a legal or economic arrangement. And to top it off, we're all caught in a social media trap. You can't even fall in love without feeling like you've got to post about it for the world to see, right? That puts unrealistic expectations on what a relationship should look like. But here's the truth. Real relationships are messy. They take effort, communication, and compromise. Social media is just making you think you have to be perfect, and that comparison game, it's a surefire way to feel like you're falling short. When you fall in love, let me tell you, reason flies out the window. Your emotions are running the show, and your brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for critical thinking, takes a back seat. You're on cloud nine with your crush, your heart's racing, your palms are sweating, and your brain's swimming in dopamine and norepinephrine. But then reality kicks in when they don't text back right away, or you're apart too long. Your serotonin drops, and suddenly you're not feeling so good anymore. You've been knocked off cloud nine. Here's another thing nobody tells you about love. Your friendships can suffer. Now, I'm not saying romantic relationships aren't important, but sometimes, without even realizing it, your priorities shift. You stop hanging out with your friends as much because you're spending all your time with your new love interest. And trust me, your friends notice. They'll feel neglected, and you'll find yourself missing out on those important moments, those inside jokes, and all the adventures you used to have. Don't fool yourself into thinking you can keep everything perfectly balanced without some effort. Now, have you ever looked at a red flag through rose-colored glasses? Well, you can't, because those glasses make you colorblind. When you're in love with the wrong person, you'll start making excuses for behavior that you wouldn't tolerate from anyone else. Only when the high of falling in love fades do you see all the red flags waving in your face. It's like everybody around you was trying to tell you, but you were too busy being blinded by love. Here's something most people don't realize. Your attachment style can determine who you fall for. And it's unconscious, so you might be setting yourself up for heartbreak without even knowing it. If you have an insecure attachment style, whether it's anxious, avoidant, or disorganized, you're more likely to wind up in a toxic relationship. Anxious people are often drawn to avoidant partners, chasing after that emotional closeness. And folks with disorganized attachment, well, they're used to chaos and unpredictability, so they tend to find comfort in those kinds of relationships, even though it's unhealthy. Falling in love can be a real mess when your attachment style leads you down the wrong path. Everybody wants to fall in love, but nobody's ready for the heartbreak. Sometimes relationships don't work out, no matter how much you want them to. Maybe the feelings aren't reciprocated, maybe you break up after a lot of fighting, or maybe things just don't feel right anymore. You're left packing up their stuff, avoiding places you used to go together, and trying not to run into mutual friends. You're eating your feelings, listening to sad songs, and wondering what went wrong. And let's be honest, it feels like it takes forever to move on, even when your friends are doing their best to cheer you up. So, is falling in love worth it? Even after all this, people still believe love is worth the heartache. Why? Because when it's good, it's really good. The joy, the connection, that feeling of being understood and valued, Those are the moments that make all the tough stuff worth it. Now, this isn't a warning to avoid love. I'm just saying, go in with your eyes open. It's not all sunshine and roses, but when love's good, it's really something special. So what do you think? Is falling in love worth the potential pain and heartbreak? Share your thoughts and experiences. And if you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe to Psy Factors for more psychology-related content on navigating relationships.